We are live, sir.
Yeah, Param. Over to you. Thanks.
First of all, a very good evening and a warm welcome to our speaker for today and all the participants from the team of BMA Friday Evening Talks. The subject that we are taking up today is something that has been discussed a lot in the news over the last few months: asset monetization, when several people have misunderstood this concept as selling of assets. But today we have a very learned speaker among us to clear our misunderstandings on this very important top move by the government of asset monetization. And he is
Recording in
none other
progress.
than a very senior chartered accountant, CA Manish Bakshi. A few words about the speaker. CA Manish Bakshi is a practicing chartered accountant since last 30 years, and he is a partner with a very reputed firm of chartered accountants. Along with his practice, he is involved in various socio-economic reforms through involvement in professional associations and NGOs. And a lot of us must have also heard about his efforts of COVID Seva during the last year's wave of pandemic. Professionally, he is also co-opted as a member of the Internal Audit Standards Board of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, as well as an independent director in several companies. He is also the promoter of the International and Domestic Arbitration Center, IDAC India, one of the first of its kind in the country. So today we have such a learned speaker who is sparing his valuable time to explain and to clear several misunderstandings that we might have about this very important topic of asset monetization. And I won't take much of the time. I'll straight away ask Sir to deliver his address. Welcome, Manish Sir, on behalf of the BMA Friday Evening Talks team. Over to you, Sir, now.
Thank you so much, and just give me a minute because I have to switch over to the another laptop. Just a minute.
No problem, sir.
Just a minute. Just a minute.
Yeah.
Manish bhai, are you connecting with the same channel or another mobile or laptop?
Nimil sir, I appreciate Param's introduction, and today's topic is excellent. I think it clearly shows main aim that it clears our misunderstanding and gives us very good knowledge.
See,
Just give me a minute. I'm joining.
yeah, see, Chirag bhai, the biggest challenge for today's topic is we need some authority, and because it's connected with the government policy. right? And what Param says, as a engineer like Aam Aadmi, you and me, every day and night we are referring this subject in the news media. So what's the pros and cons, and there are a lot of things that are in our mind. That's the reason that when we have planned these subjects and came to know about some article published by Manish Bhai, so immediately I request him and invite that better way if you address the Friday evening talk with this topic, at least we will get the clear cut idea. Air India, and there are a lot of right now cases going on. So thanks to Baroda that we have Manish Bhai, kind of a senior veteran chartered accountant who always supported Baroda management in Friday evening talk. In my 10 years of tenure, these are the third times we have organized Friday evening talk of Manish Bhai. Last time also when there is a drastically change in the area of uh, income tax side, then also we have requested Manish Bhai, and Manish Bhai will address the same subject. So once again, Manish Bhai, okay, Manish Bhai is connected, and maybe in a 30 seconds we will start the program. But yes, ચિરાગભાઈ, આપણે બે જણા આમ આદમીની જેમ સાંભળવાનું છે, and Param will help us in the night again to discussing regarding the topic. Yeah, Manish bhai, welcome again. Thanks a lot.
Oh, thank you so much. Sorry for the interruption. And I was hearing the conversation between you all. And thank you so much for the introduction. Thank you so much for the nice words. But it's a part and parcel of my duty as a professional to associate with the professional body. And let me tell you all that I was also a committee member in past, but unfortunately could not give any direct contribution which the person like Nimil Bhai, Padam are contributing today. And so I generally would like to contribute in a manner and way which I can. So today's topic, as somebody was mentioning, is yes, very, very technical, very, very screen is visible now.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the again interruption. But the topic today is a very, very different, very, very, what I would say, a lot of misunderstandings are there even within the professionals. As far as the political side is concerned, which is not the topic of the day, some misunderstanding have been created. Some misunderstanding and confusions have been created by the media, and that's why the topic is there for the discussion about asset monetization, to clear the miasma of the misunderstanding. Because many of us, the chartered accountants and the professionals, also have some doubt, some bad smell, miasma, about the concept. And rightly so, because we have an experience of disinvestment. We have experience in India to operate a project on PPP model. So far, so as far as the India is concerned, the experiences are not so enthusiastic, are not so encouraged, are not so good as planned. When we will go ahead in the presentation, we will see that what was our disinvestment plan as far as budget 2021 is concerned and how much we have achieved. So again, asset monetization concept came out, which is new in the country like India, but which is a very much known concept to the economist, known concept to the professionals, those who are connected with the cross-border transactions, those who are connected globally, that for the developed countries and developing countries, asset monetization is one of the very important economic tool for the country to develop, country to keep the pace with the growth as far as economic growth of the country is concerned. And so let's understand what is asset monetization. Asset monetization is nothing but to create the new source of revenues from the present asset which we have. To give you just a very understanding basic ad, that we are living in a house of 5 BHK with 2-floor buildings and all. Before 10 years, so far so good. But now, as far as my family size is concerned and everything is concerned, my first floor having 2 BHK is absolutely vacant. So asset monetization involves creation of new source of revenue by unlocking the value of unutilized or underutilized public asset. I just gave an example of my own house, but it's a public asset. So there are various public assets of the central government, of the state government, of the public sector undertakings, which are either underutilized or not utilized. Again, this is not the workshop, not the MDP, so I can give you a detailed discussion. So I will go very fast and I'll just give you a bullet point, and then we can take up the questions, if any, at the end. But the point is, to understand this concept, it is very important to know what underutilized or unutilized asset is. Suboptimally utilized or underutilized is one that is not being used its maximum potential, which could otherwise be attained by exploring it commercially. So I am talking about commercial. In country like India, various assets of central government, of state government and public sector undertaking, even though are put to use, are not being optimally used commercially. And the most important thing is at market value. So this is what is the basic background, pretext, the context which we must understand. So in essence, the process of converting asset into its market value, its economic value, is termed as asset monetization. So in country like India, we have a huge asset with various government bodies, undertakings. Now the time has come for India. We'll see that intention and objective of government was very loud and clear, and it was informed to us well in advance, which many of us were not aware. But now it's a time to convert those assets into with complete economic value. Now these assets, again, very basic misunderstanding is of whose assets, even central government, even state government, and public sector undertaking. So it's not only a central government job. We'll come to know little later that how the state governments have responded to this scheme. You will be surprised when we will talk about it. So again, what is the background? Why there is a need of asset monetization, and why this concept have been introduced by the central government? Because we all know that since last couple of years, in each and every discussion, in each and every paper of the central government, from finance ministry, and in general and particularly the budget documents, the government of India is absolutely clear with its roadmap to make India $5 trillion US economy. And if this is the target with which government is moving ahead, government, the country needs resources. If you go back to the budget 2021, para 142, wherein the finance minister Nirmala Sitharaman at that point of time in February 2021 has made it very clear, which is there in paragraph 142. A twofold approach was there in her budget speech to bridge the fiscal deficit gap. Fiscal deficit has to be reduced. And the plan of India to achieve the fiscal deficit to 4.5% in times to come, and to achieve the GDP at 9.5% in time to come in 2021-22. These are the plans. This is the background. And now, my dear friends, when Nirmala Sitharaman told and came out with this plan, many of us as a professionals may not have accepted this figures, that this is a number game, this is jugglery, this is presentation. I am not talking about politically. Even as a professional, somebody may raise it out that how we will be able to do that. But now when Rakesh Jhunjhunwala has told, everybody knows before a couple of weeks, now everybody started understanding, yes, India will achieve 10% GDP. So this is the background, that a government is already ready to bridge the fiscal deficit gap, to achieve the GDP. What is twofold approach? One source of revenue is my tax collection. So in that budget speech itself, it was very clear that to increase my tax revenue through a very improved compliance, and to increase receipts from the monetization of asset. तो ये monetization of asset अभी 2 महीने पहले आया है, वो कोई नया एनिमल नहीं है. It's not new product. It's well thought, well planned. Yes, a lot of preparation is yet to come. A lot of the documents are yet to be prepared, but it's at least well planned. Because that Rome, even Taj Mahal was not built up overnight. So this cannot be done overnight. Again, a background which we all know, I had told you that disinvestment plan of the government of India was 2.10 lakh crore in last year, versus we have achieved only 15.22 thousand. So disinvestment, we will see its benefit, its advantage, its historical and inheritance limitations. Again, background, why the asset monetization? Because as again and again we are discussing since last 10-15 minutes, asset. Indian Railway has 47,000 hectares of land. Now you can understand. Yes, 47,000 hectares land Indian Railway has. You can now clearly understand the concept of what we have discussed, that is all 47,000 hectares of land are fully utilized, optimally utilized with its pure economic value, with its 100% pure present value as a based method. That's the basic the background. We have assets. Indian Railways 47,000 crore of land. Airports have land. Our ports have various land. Our roads, national highway authorities have. Various electricity boards, state governments have power transmission lines, so on and so forth. So ये हमारे पास है. इसको मोनेटाइज करना है. ये एसेट्स को मुझे मोनेटाइज करना है, ये एसेट्स को मुझे कैपिटलाइज करना है, ये एसेट्स से मुझे नए रेवेन्यू जनरेट करना है. That's what is asset monetization. So don't get confused between the disinvestment and asset monetization. The basic difference between asset disinvestment, which has not been able to achieve the targeted results so far in India, as I told you, 2.10 lakh crore versus, the only few thousand crores of rupees have been got because of disinvestment. Disinvestment is a selling of ownership. To raise the fund, the government, the public sector undertaking has to raise fund by selling the ownership stake. That is disinvestment. Sale can also be a liquidation of asset or stake in a subsidiary of an organization, and so on and so forth, government undertaking. Disinvestment of the sale of asset, the private sector is afterwards becoming a sole owner of that business and the asset, and then can enjoy the complete autonomy over the future sale, future benefit, future value of those assets with no control whatsoever of the government. So that's disinvestment. Basic difference and the very important plus point of the monetization is, under asset monetization, government will let out this asset to the private sector. Will let out the asset to the private sector after its proper bidding process, which also we'll see 3 important bullet points I could make out from this National Monetization Plan NMP, and for operating of that. So assets will be given to the private sector, the entrepreneurs, the techno commercial persons for its operation, either on upfront premium, either on regular revenue share basis, or maybe a long-term lease basis, but without giving any title on the ownership of the asset. So this is what I wanted to just make you clear, that this investment versus asset monetization. So the question of many of you might have been resolved here. And so this investment is, the recent example is the Air India. Air India government has now sold out to Tata. Complete management, complete ownership of the Air India, its present assets, business, his future business, future benefit, assets, everything is now with the Tata. This is not the subject of the day, but those who are interested in economics and reading this economic news, let me tell you only one liner, that Air India deal is one of the very, very professionally handled deal by the government of India. This much I can tell you, and we can discuss at any given point of time on this, that Air India absolutely one of the very good and going to be classic example and case studies for the country, the student, the economist in times to come, as well as the disinvestment is concerned. But we are talking today about the asset monetization, asset not disinvestment, where the without giving the title of the ownership of the asset. As I told you, either upfront premium I will take government, so my income will be raised, or I will have a regular revenue share, or I will have a long-term lease. Either of these three methods, or somebody can come out tomorrow with the fourth medal from Niti Aayog also, because Niti Aayog is fully involved and working on this particular NMP, which we will come to know. Some new model also come out for the income generation revenue model. So the very basic objective of now understanding the asset monetization, what is the objective? Objective is to unlock the value of investment made in public asset, which have not yielded by now so far so appropriate and potential return so far. The government has incurred so much of loss into this particular investment. So objective is to unlock that and come out of that and create and second, to create an unexplored source of income for the company and for the stakeholders of this particular asset of the government. Contribute to a more accurate estimate of public asset. As I told you, the proper estimates will be done, proper valuation will be done. And so it will help the government to have the better financial management of the public resources, public assets over a period of time. Because in my personal view, this objective is very, very clearly understood by this present government and Niti Aayog, that government can and should be the catalyst, should be the policy making agency, can do the administration, can do monitoring of the policy which have been formulated, whether they are adhered to, whether they are complied by the industry, by the citizen or not. It's not a government business to do business. That's what my point. And this objective present government has understand. So many of debates and press media and opposition parties discussion and blame was that government is now selling the property. Government, Sarkar property વેચવા બેઠી છે, દેશને વેચવા બેઠા છે. My dear friend, this is not the government which do not understand the business, what they have to do and what entrepreneurs have to do. That's the basic thin line which this government has understand. And they are also very clear that all these assets, Gujarati ma, if I tell you, Sonana Inda Mukti Margi che. So they are very clear that they are not going to kill that hen which is laying the golden eggs, but they wanted to nurture that hen so that more eggs can be come out, can be yielded. Sonana Inda Mukti Margi ne mari nakhwani koi વાત જ નથી. મરઘી સોનાના ઈંડા વધારે કેવી રીતે આપે, વધારે કેવી રીતે ઈંડા લઈ શકાય સોનાના. That's what is the objective of the monetization in Gujarat in a different way. To attract the private sector to unlock the real asset value. Because when private sector will come and will be working as far as the airports are concerned, airports have so many land just as a chartered accountant, I am not the technical person, but some innovative ideas on using this particular land of the airport by keeping that particular panel, solar panel, and power can be generated. And if that job is being given to some of the company, they can come out with some new innovative ideas with emerging technologies and with, the intelligent artificial put in the place the assets which we have just discussed earlier of the Indian Railways, the port, the transmission lines, can be put to use effectively with new ideas, with emerging technologies. It's not government job to do the business. Government is now going away, coming out with planning, and after proper bid, going to give this land for its optimum use. One use which coming to my mind as a layman is the land of the airport can't be used for generating power through a solar panel. If answer is yes, whether it is to be done by airport authority, whether it can be done by the central government, no. Let a proper bidding process should be there, and let entrepreneur, Indian entrepreneurs, Indian incorporates should come out with a proper bidding process, with proper plan, and they can put their new ideas, innovations, and emerging technologies. India can generate power so that company, the investor of the company, and the government, which has that land, all can earn revenue more than what we are and they are earning today. So it's to attract to unlock the assets and to put to the optimal use. That's what is the basic objective of the government. What's this NMP all about? It's a transparent process. I've just given you overall understanding. National Monetization Pipeline Plan. It is really a very, if you have read that NMP policy document, my dear friends, it provides transparent, the budget provide for preparing a national monetization pipeline of potential brownfield infrastructure asset. So that work is going on. Now it has already been started. Assets have been identified. Now its valuation will be done. After valuation, I will be leasing out those assets. What Indian incorporates or the entrepreneurs, young technocrats would like to put that asset, it is up to them. But I will have my cap, Indian government, that this land at this place, I am giving you for rent, I am leasing it out, then this is my minimum bidding amount which I should get, either as a premium or lease or a regular revenue, whatever. That model can be worked out. So it's going to be a very transparent process. In that particular NMP document, if you have read, whenever I am going to give away that asset to the Indian entrepreneurs to use it, there will be a standard service clause in the agreement. There will be a defined penalty clauses in the agreement for non-performance, non-adherence, non-compliance of this agreement terms and conditions. It's going to business. It's a pure business. Government business is not to do business. I am repeating. Government business is to do this. to ensure that if this agreement terms and conditions are not being adhered to, I will penalize you and you have to pay me penalty. And yes, there will be a termination clause for non-performance also. It's not like that I have given land, government has given land to somebody and that agreed terms are not being adhered to and there is a non-performance, then there will be a termination clause also. See, this is how professionally the government, the Niti Aayog has planned out to monetize the asset. ऐसा नहीं है कि भाई वो आपको बेच दिया, जैसे आपने टीवी में सुना एक वीक तक every day, every paper, every news media, everywhere there was a buzzword. Government ने બધી સંપત્તિ ને પ્રોપર્ટી વેચવા કાઢી છે. Because yes, government plan is to come out with 6 lakh crore. It's not a small amount. It's a very dream, the plan. So there will be a termination clause also. There will be an asset monetization dashboard will be there to track out the progress and provide visibility to investor, because that company in which I am going to invest money, which is going to take my land of the government at the airport, same example, to use it and lay down some power plant and some, the solar power project to generate the energy, power. Investors would be there. Entrepreneurs would be there. Government would be there. So entrepreneur can take out on the dashboard. They can track the progress. So it's not like that. Again, I am telling you, asset is given away for use. Nobody is going to check. Rather, nobody is answerable. What is present scenario as far as the PSUs are concerned. But this is not going to the scenario as far as the asset monetization implementation is concerned, as far as the present policy documents are there on the website and everywhere. So why there are all chances, why there are all positive factors that this asset monetization is going to get through? Because again, I have told you, India has a plan to become 5 trillion economy, USD 5 trillion economy, economic superpower. And as I told you, government has intended to reach the fiscal deficit, मैंने आगे बताया, below 4.5% of the GDP by 25-26. This can be only achieved by increasing my receipts from the monetization of assets. And the fund which I am going to get, receipt which I am going to get, as for Indian Development Bank, ADB, in Asia alone, infrastructure investment by 2016 to 30 are estimated at 26 trillion. 1.7 trillion investment is required for the infrastructure development, and India is one of the major biggest country as far as Asia is concerned, you all know. So the Asian Development Bank has told, so in the entire growth of the Asian continent, how India can keep itself aloof. India is a part and parcel of this particular development in the Asia, and India is going to be economic superpower of the world, not Asia. So asset monetization only can, accelerate the speed. So this is in and around the India. This is the scenario. This is the positive factors in which entire Asia is moving ahead. And मैंने वही बताया वो एक गाना था ना, अपना टाइम आएगा, अपना टाइम आएगा. अभी, on 5th of the October, Rakesh Junjunwala has made a presentation to the Honorable Prime Minister of the country with this title, अपना टाइम आएगा, अपना टाइम आएगा. What he said, अपना टाइम आएगा नहीं, अपना टाइम आ गया है, इंडिया का टाइम आ गया है. That's what Rakesh Junjunwala, this is his tagline of the presentation. On 5th October 2021, he made this presentation before the Honorable Prime Minister. अपना टाइम आएगा नहीं, अपना टाइम आ गया है. And so, this is the way ahead, way forward. Asset monetization is a way forward, way ahead to become the economic superpower. Why? Because if I end without giving you the benefit and why, my entire talk will be incomplete. It's going to be a win-win situation. Asset monetization से क्या होने वाला है? Asset बेच देने वाले हैं नहीं. Now that concept is clear. Again, another argument was Tata, Ambani and all will be earning out of it. No. Tata, Ambani, I mean the entrepreneurs are not only going to earn out of it, it's government also going to get premium or regular share in the income or maybe lease rent. The government is also going to earn on a regular basis. Government will have a full control and the ownership of the asset. The investor is also going to earn. The entrepreneurs, public, are also going to earn money from this particular project with the new technology, new innovation in that particular asset which government is going to monetize. So policy is to strengthen the growth in all the sector and will reattract the investment. Investors would come, entrepreneurs would be there. It's going to be all around positive factor in all the sectors. Asset monetization which being practiced across the world and will enhance the capex. My capex will increase. Capex spending and building world-class infrastructure is going to increase. Because I have given my asset, not sold out my asset to the entrepreneurs, to technocrats, the startup companies, to make use of it and come out with the world-class infrastructure. Why the Western countries and US are ahead of us today? Because they could build the infrastructure much earlier than country like us. That's all. So they have all the infrastructure in place. They have adequate infrastructure in place. In country like India, infrastructure development has taken place since, maybe not, I am talking about politically, 2014 से ही चालू हुआ है. 1991 से at least globalization concept have been started, some working have been done, its pace was accelerated from 2014 and all. This is not on political discussion, but the point is that infrastructure development, the world-class infrastructure development, India has already on the track, but to accelerate the pace, that's what important. We need money, we need fund. So am I going to get only a borrowed fund from International Monetary Fund, which is increasing year by year? My borrowing is more than 40% of my GDP last year. So if I will not come out with this kind of win-win situation and create an opportunity for the government also, which is the owner of this particular underutilized assets, I will not have a resources. I will have to depend upon the borrowing. And borrowing at its own cost. So even though I'll be developing my capex, even though India will be having world-class infrastructure, my earning would go into again IMF repayment and interest and whatnot, So by this asset monetization, it will have a multiplier impact on growth and creating even employment opportunities. It will create the employment opportunities. It will integrate the rural and semi-urban areas for overall public welfare. Because if somebody will come out with some plan to come out with some innovative project on the railway track, on the transmission line, it's not going to develop only the urban areas. It's going to develop semi-urban, it's going to develop rural areas. So there is going to be overall growth, overall development, overall economic activities will be taking place across the country. So it's going to be, my point is, it's going to be a win-win situation by this asset monetization in country like India, and which is a proven fact in the developed countries and developing countries, fast developing countries, which you can check out. So what care has to be taken? This 4-step, it's only 4-step in my opinion, process to success. If this asset monetization has to get success, today morning, if you have heard the Prime Minister of India, my dear friends, again, no political statement or connection. The Prime Minister of India today morning, when he was addressing the nation, when we have achieved 100 crore of vaccination target, which is unexpected across the globe, everybody has appreciated. The Prime Minister of India, in his opening remark, has given credit to you and me, has given credit to public participation, has given credit to that, though हमने थाली बजाया था. He very categorically today mentioned that जब हमने थाली बजाया था, जब हमने डॉक्टर्स को appreciate किया था, entire world was laughing at us कि थाली बजाने से क्या कोरोना भागने वाला है. But that has created the unity, that has created awareness, and that particular थाली बजाई थी हमने, that has created a positive impact that we together can fight against the corona, and then everybody has word of mouth and awareness has been created in the society, and then we have reached at the even target of 100 crore much earlier than our planned target. The point here is he has given the credit to public, the participation of the citizen. That's what is first point here also. 4-step process for success is motivation of policy formulation of government be understood by us, by the India. And that is why I would like to today compliment the Baroda Management Association, the Nimil Bhai, Param, and everybody who are actively involved in this particular kind of activity, that awareness has to be created. Today, whoever is attending, whoever is going to, whoever is at the Facebook, whoever is at the YouTube, whoever is in this online platform, does not matter. Number does not matter. But the awareness has to be created, and this is a process which BMA has been part of it, which is very important, my dear friend, that if this asset monetization has to get success, if we have to achieve this 5 trillion economy USD, then public has to be aware. We should be aware. Professionals should be aware, and that is the first step of motivation of this policy formulation to government, which is to be understood by all. First, detailed analysis of asset, operational and financial is to be required to be done, that Niti Aayog is doing. They are not making any hurry. कोई अभी कोई asset के लिए कोई plan आने गया है. And I am telling you again, you go to the complete bidding process, it was so professionally done. And so I am very hopeful and confident that the same, process also is going to be there, and which is going to be a success for this particular is detailed analysis of assets, operational and financial asset, analysis of the current and future potential of the asset. What is asset is the capable of, तो पूरा एनालिसिस हो रहा है, full managing all the stakeholders and executing the project with care to deliver the envisioned objective. This fourfold approach, देखो, where our role is also there, role of the government is there, role of finance ministry is there, role of Niti Aayog is there, everybody is working. And with the step of fourfold, this particular question to all of you at the end, that India is ready, government is ready, Niti Aayog is ready. Are we ready? That's what the question I'm asking to all of us. I did mention to you earlier that I will tell you the readiness of the state government. You will be surprised, because state also can progress by asset monetization. 26 states and union territories have given their consent and appointed nodal officer for this asset monetization pipeline plan and given the nodal officer name to Niti Aayog. This is the fact. 26 countries. And so my question, my bullet point opportunities for all of us, because we have a almost different kinds of participants today, or different kind of participant and the professionals who will be listening to the recording tomorrow, day after. My dear friends, opportunities for each and everyone is there in this asset monetization process also. For entrepreneurs also. Entrepreneurs have to come out and now started understanding how with the technology, how with the emerging technology, and how with the new R&D they can make optimum use of this, and is going to come out for the bidding process tomorrow. So entrepreneurs also have a great opportunities, my dear friends. That technical persons, the engineer, the scientists, various other professionals also are going to, valuation is going to be done, various agreements are going to be there, various joint ventures would be there, various assessments on the implication of direct and indirect taxes would be done by the entrepreneur. So entrepreneurs are going to get benefit. All professional across the board, legal professionals, the chartered accountants, the company secretaries, all are going to be benefited if they will understand this process and trying to be a part of this growth journey of the India to make India a 5 trillion USD economy. Investors, those who will understand that which company is making bid for which project and who are the promoters, what is their background, and all put together, investors also will invest into that particular special purpose vehicle which is going to be formulated by the various entrepreneurs to make use of this, optimum use of the asset which are going to be there tomorrow in the bidding. So my dear friend, the point is, it is not only that government is going to get benefit. We also have to start understanding which role I can play tomorrow in this entire process. Which role a lawyer can play, which role a chartered accountant can play, which role engineer, civil engineer has to play, which role IT professionals have to play tomorrow. So it is going to be very good opportunities, asset monetization. If you are not going to get involved and just you are going to sit on the bank of the river or bank of that sea, choice is yours. If you wanted to get deep digging in the sea, then only you can get the moti sahaj nahi milte. To get the particular pearl, you have to get deep digging in this particular. So you have to understand this concept, and this is the beginning. You might have read, you might have be a part of some of the debates and discussion, but this concept need to be understood, and then you can find out where you can play a role. So that's what my presentation from my side. Thank you so much, and I would like to keep this session open for the question answer and the next proceeding from the BMS side. Thank you, Nimil Bhai. Thank you, Param. Thank you, Chirag Bhai. Thank you all.
Yeah.
I'm reading the questions Mr. Udham Singh has sent, Ajit Kumar Jain has sent.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah. Param.
Yeah. We are ready with the questions.
Yes.
First question we have regarding asset of railways. What do you think? Like, what kind of advantages we will have by doing asset monetization of railways?
I'm just reading the question. In case of land allotment to industry, land to be returned to landowner, landlords if industry not started 5-10 years. Why? See, this is Mr. Udham Singh has asked the question, but this is not the acquisition of land of the landowners while I am coming out with the any project. So why in case of government organization the under land not being returned to original land owners? Because landowners have already been compensated at that point of time at the value whatever. This become acquiring land of something and selling to others. No. That is what? No, this is not correct. In my personal view, with due respect, this is not the correct view. I had acquired land to lay a broad gauge railway line in some of the part of the country. Now the point is that land is underutilized. That land is not unutilized because on the side of that particular track, again, same example, the India has to now think, entrepreneurs have to think that what and how that particular side land has to be used. I have given very layman's answer and my personal understanding है वहां पर पावर प्रोजेक्ट कर सकते हैं. वो लैंड ऐसा नहीं कि वापस देना है उसको, एंड ऐसा नहीं कि वो लैंड मैं किसी को दे रहा हूं, बेच रहा हूं. आई एम नॉट गिविंग टू समबडी एल्स, somebody and selling का तो concept ही नहीं है. Becomes acquiring land for somebody and selling to others. No, it is not going to sell to somebody. I will continue to become as a owner, and I will be giving it to somebody to use it, and I am going to get premium or what. In case of National Monetization Pipeline, land remains with the farmers and was acquired for some purpose. Yeah. What is practice in these countries in other cases? In case of business used for more revenue generation from the government, the money will be shared with landowners. No, landowners का कोई बात ही नहीं है यहाँ पर. Landowners at that point of time have been compensated. And today in other countries, as far as I know, I have read the documents of some other developed countries also, but there is no such, the practice in the other countries. Today I am going to, give this land to somebody for use, and so original landowner has to be compensated more. No. Yeah, we'll take up your question also a little later, but then we have another question is, what would be the status of existing manpower employed in PSU-like organization? Will they be underutilized or not? What the website to examine such details further? Again, this is a very indifferent question. Asset monetization A very good question. I think this question we should send it BMA. Param is there, and if Nimil Bhai is there, this question we should reframe and send it to Niti Aayog. Why not? Ajit Kumar Jain question is very, very indifferent. And I think I have not come across any such plan of the government or Niti Aayog to examine the underutilization of manpower in PSU. And those manpower can be put to use for the other better purposes. I think very different. See, this is the purpose. This is very different point raised by Mr. Ajit Kumar Jain. And will they be underutilized or not? Yes, it is a question of assessment. मैंने वही बताया, complete analysis is required to be done for the such asset. So manpower is asset. What is the website to examine such details further? नीति आयोग में आप चले जाओ, नीति आयोग में आपको सब कुछ मिलेगा, पूरा डॉक्यूमेंट मिलेगा, पूरी नेशनल मॉनेटाइजेशन पॉलिसी पाइपलाइन वहां पर है, और वहां से आपको you will get. But this question we should send it to the idea. We should send it to the Niti Aayog, Nimil Bhai, through BMA. Let them also examine कि मेरे underutilized manpower को use कर सकते हैं कि नहीं आपस में. उसको आप अंडर पब्लिक सेक्टर की जो मैन पावर है उसको आप यूटिलाइज करने के लिए बोलो किसी को, and then you can earn the revenue out of it. Very good question. I really appreciate this, Ajit Kumar Jain. Thank you so much.
Sir, similar question we can ask you. Can we do this exercise for the government employees?
Yes, why not? That's what I am telling. Send it to Niti Aayog. Niti Aayog is very open and accepting the suggestions across. Or Niti Aayog, they are very, very proactive. And aapka whatever suggestions, whatever this and other kind of suggestions, you can individually also send it to the Niti Aayog. You can, as an association also can be sent to Niti Aayog, and they will definitely respond to your any such workable, the suggestions to make this complete asset monetization plan successful. Because disinvestment plan is not successful nahi gaya, but this plan is going to be definitely successful because they are well prepared. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Nimil Bhai, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Manish Bhai. Manish Bhai, one question is that many times such kind of government bold decision is taken and people shout like "Wag avare, wag jehu."
Yes.
So what do you think about the same kind of situation in developed country? Developed country, how they are dealing? There's most of the hold in any sector is by the government or by the private sector, and government is just taking care of policy making, which is the right process.
Absolutely. That is what I also did mention earlier. The role and responsibility of government is to make the policy and monitor and ensure that policies are being adhered to. Government should not do the business like public sector undertaking, like railways. Nowadays making profit, but otherwise railway used to make 20,000 crores rupees of loss. Air India, let's talk about Air India. Air India, how much loss we are incurring, and on his account is on in my pocket. Ultimately, we are contributing for Air India since number of years. Now, at least from next year, whatever loss Air India was making will not be there in my exchequer account. So the point is, in developed countries, as far as the business is concerned, as far as running the units are concerned, okay, Navratna की हम जो बात कर रहे थे पहले, but again Navratna में से अभी how many Navratnas are really profit making and earning revenue for the country? Or rather, they are making revenue for country, but they are underutilized. So have to do a proper valuation. How to do proper, the valuation of share of the Navratna. Can't we, disinvest some part to the public? This kind of innovative thinkings are also going on in the minds of the government. That at least 10% LIC. LIC is not going to be sold out. LIC is going to give that some small portion to the public. And those who wanted to invest, they will also get some good return than bank FDR and mutual funds. Looking to the LIC is working.
System, perfect system. So all these three big name in Gujarat are converted like yes factor in positive growth. Absolutely, it's a case study at many management institute. But the same thing on the like Air India or other company, it is government is doing this privatization because of system is not set up by the government, or system is so down that it's so difficult to recap the everything. What is your opinion?
Yes, absolutely right. See, as far as the JSFC is concerned, we all know the history of JNFC. It was in red. Loss kar raha tha.
Right.
But then if I am not mistaken and if I am collecting properly, the managing director, instead of keeping the political person as managing director, the then Chief Minister Narendra Modi has started employing IAS persons, IRS persons, the IIM persons as the managing director, full-time, whole-time managing director for all those units which we have named, be it GSFC, be it IPCL, be it GSFC, be it GNFC, be it State Electricity Board. And see the history. After that, over a period of time, after their appointment, 1 or 2, 3 years, there was turnaround. And today, they are not making losses. So if you can do that, again, fine. But Air India case must have been tried. But unfortunately, if mindset of the employees, mindset of the team is also very important, and which I think government could not do it. And so ultimately government decided to disinvest. Government to sold out. So my loss will reduce. Now from today onwards, my loss to my pocket of the Air India is not going to be there. And even, I have got something from that which I will be using for the infrastructure. So let's take this kind of bold decision. Like if you have some gangrene, like typically gangrene, तो डॉक्टर क्या बोलते हैं, कोई उंगली काटनी पड़ेगी या तो पैर का एक छोटा सा एक उंगली काटनी पड़ेगी. If you don't take decision at the right point of time, पूरा पैर काटना पड़ता है. And person also may not be, get the life. ऐसे भी example है हमारे पास. So like that, it's a decision has to be taken industry to industry, case to case, and so decision taken for the Gujarat state public sector undertaking have yielded a good result, and so let's continue with it. The result of the Air India did not yield the result, so let's sell it out.
Okay. Last question. Being a senior chartered accountant, I wish to add some tadka from the HR point of view. We have discussed so many things from government side, but I need your opinion and also review as a senior member. Sir, take an example of Air India. Why government is giving this deal to the Air India? Number one, because of JRT connectivity, as an is the first person who started Air India. Number two, financial capability and management part. Or number three, proven company that whatever company Tata has acquired, right example is Land Rover and Jaguar. During the odd period, financial crisis at Ford, he has acquired these two brands and is converted into the profit making. So what do you say about the Air India acquisition from the Tata side?
Yeah, it was
अब आप टाटा की फेवर में बोलेंगे.
Yeah, no, not at all in favor. I will tell you, if we look at the complete process, it's absolutely professionally managed process by the government of India. You read yesterday's Economic Times.
Okay.
Chetan Bhagat has clearly given a very brief understanding of this, that this is one of the professionally managed. Because मैं कुछ बोलूंगा तो शायद आप मानेंगे नहीं मानेंगे, चेतन भगत बोल रहा है. Yesterday Economic Times, Chetan Bhagat has also appreciated the government, not the Tata. And incidentally, it is Tata who came out with the highest bidding, who came out with fulfillment of the terms and condition of the tender document. शायद वो टेंडर डॉक्यूमेंट के टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन कोई फुलफिल नहीं कर पाता, तो दिस टाइम आल्सो इट वुड हैव बीन फेलियर.
Right.
But tender documents की financial terms and condition and all future terms and condition of repayment of liability, if I am talking about 20,000 crores of liability also have been passed on to the Tata by the government very smartly, very professionally. Okay, some 40,000 liability government has taken, we will pay. If I am just giving you broad understanding, but then 20,000 passed on to government also, as far as the financial liability is concerned. As far as your liability of the present employees of future liability, everything is now passed on to Tata, except this one portion of the financial liability. Everything is to Tata. And so government is now out. We lost all future liability, everything government is out. And so very professionally being done. And Tata could beat it financially, and Tata could accept all the terms and conditions of the tender document. That's what my understanding.
Right.
And that's why Tata could. It's not like JRD. Yes, incidentally, JRD company went to government and come back to government. It's a press media and press news. But that is an incidental. That's not, I think, that's a coincidence. That's not, I think, planned in any way by anyone, even government or by the Tata. That's what my view.
Okay, thanks. So in the lighter note, I will complete from my task and over to Param, that in sales and marketing, generally we say to the juniors that if Shahjahan has invited the tender, there is no Taj Mahal. But in this case, our own Narendra Modi has invited the tender, but again he is building the Taj Mahal and hope that Air India ka Maharaja और तरक्की करे and India's name will be bright, because this acquisition, the many people have faith with the Tata as well as deal as well as situation at the government side. So let us hope for the best. Ant bala to sab bala. So Param, over to you. And
only time will tell. And in some of the FET in discussion in 2025, we will measure whether we have been able to achieve 5 trillion million. That point of time, we will also evaluate what is the success of this particular Tata sellout.
25 तो बहुत दूर की बात है मनीष भाई, एक साल में और कुछ फाइनेंस में नया आने वाला है, वो कंफर्म है, गवर्नमेंट इज डूइंग. सो प्लीज रेडी विद द 2022 for one more FET, because this kind of tough subjects we always need your support. Thank you. Param. Param.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Manish sir, we like to appreciate your effort, and we appreciate your knowledge. And it gives me remembrance of my olden study days when I was there in UK. Tata acquired Jaguar and Land Rover. So at that time, we were studying masters in project management, and this was one of the subject of study. So same thing, say for example, in for malaria, one medicine is found at one part of the world. Same medicine used in another part of the world. So we appreciate that you have explained this the process very well. And this shows your knowledge about the industries and vision which aligns with the government policies. And one of the point which you explained us regarding Niti Aayog, we didn't know about that. This government is so much dynamic, and they are also accepting points from even a common man. Thank you very much, sir. And on my side, we would like to take a commitment from your side that on this topic, maybe on merger and acquisitions, you can have one day MDP on it. What do you say, sir?
My pleasure. Always ready. It is my pleasure, because I am a chartered accountant. So when I am interacting with persons like you and in professional body, always I am the gainer. Because I am only one person and you are more than one. So always I am going to take back more than one ideas, one new concept from all of you, rather than sharing only my ideas to all of you. So always ready. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. And with your permission, we will conclude this session with the commitment of one day MDP at BMSF.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Param, Chirag.
Thank you.